Freight volumes are starting to pick up from the record lows of the past year, but how soon can shippers and their carriers expect to get back to pre-recession normal? The worst recession of the post-war era has been followed by a fragile recovery, and that has left transport executives and the shippers they deal with uncertain about how quickly things can turn around. Dan Einwechter, head of Challenger Motor Freight, is among the most bullish on the near future. He spoke about capacity and freight volumes at a workshop we recently held in partnership with Dan Goodwill and Associates.
I think we still have excess truckload capacity in Canada right now. I've talked to a lot of U.S. friends in the industry, suppliers. I'm selling a bunch of my used trailers down there. And they're saying, get ready, it's coming. They've got this great solid wave of activity. One of my friends said, I wish I was back in the trucking business. He said the golden era is about to happen. We have too much capacity now, and yet by September I think we'll be short capacity. That's what I'm telling my drivers. I say, hey, right now it's just nice and easy work. I said by September we'll be asking you guys, hey, can you do one more run? Can you do one more run? And it's going to be busy as hell.
But not everyone is as optimistic as Dan. Doug Monroe, head of Maritime Ontario, sees continued difficulties ahead.
I do agree, with the overcapacity at 20–30%, or it's hard to really know what that number is. But in my opinion, there's a big overcapacity, overhang in the market, and that's of course resulting in lower rates and the problems that we're facing as an industry. My feeling on it is that it's probably the economy isn't going to do. Of course, that's like looking into a crystal ball and trying to decide that. But that would certainly be my hope, as Dan has said. If the economy can pick up and we can get into an upturn in the economy, then that would be the best. If not, which I fear it might be the other way, because consumer confidence isn't really improving like we would have hoped, especially in the U.S. with the debt loads that the people are carrying and the government deficits. There's no easy way out of this on the economy, and so. If in the absence of an increase in the economy, then we're back to the overhang on the market, and what that's going to mean. And I think, unfortunately, it's going to mean some rationalization. The carriers that are in the weaker financial position have to step out, and that will ultimately help the industry back to an equilibrium. But I think it might be a little longer than that. I'm expecting it to go on for another several years, personally.
Peter DeTecco runs Armbro Transport, a regional carrier servicing Ontario and Quebec. He too sees continuing issues with overcapacity for at least the rest of this year.
So I think there's probably much more recovery going on west of Ontario. I think Ontario-Quebec is still going to be slow, and I think it's going to be a while. Ultimately, there will be a shortage of capacity and drivers, but I don't see it for a couple of years.
Who is right? Our research shows most shippers and carriers remain cautious about 2010. Most economists at the moment believe the chance of a double-dip recession is fairly small, but so many variables remain that it's very difficult to have an accurate gauge on the strength of the economy for the rest of this year, which unfortunately means that freight volume projections will remain a guessing game at best.